Miss Walden. How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
Good. Thank you for joining us
No
in this
problem.
interview. Today we're going to talk about collaboration in general and collaboration in co-teaching setting. But we're going to start off with collaboration in general. I'm going to ask you a few questions in that, and then I'll tell you when we're going to go to the next category, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So how would you describe your approach to collaborating with colleagues?
I think when you go into the setting, and if there are new people involved, you've always got to go in with an open mind, even if there aren't new people. Keep your mind open. I don't know everything. Even when you have lots of experience, you don't know everything, and you have to be open to hearing other people's opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That's very good. So, can you tell me a little bit how you share an example of time when collaboration led to improved outcomes for students?
Yeah, so I taught kindergarten for years, and we had to do writing assessments at the end of the year. And our school had professional learning communities, and so we had to do one writing assessment where I thought it was extremely difficult for kindergartners. And so you basically have to agree as a group over the course of time, and you all got to do the same thing. You got to have the same expectations. And I disagreed with the way it was being done. I thought it was way too high of a level for them. And so I would voice my opinion. Every year I'd voice my opinion. And then, like on the third try, I asked the question of how is our writing any different than second grade writing? And nobody could answer the question. And then they saw it from a different perspective just because I finally worded it the right way. And it led to us changing that assessment to be more kindergarten appropriate.
That's really good. That's very good collaboration on changing things. So great. That's really good. How do you typically navigate differing opinions or teaching styles when working with another educator?
So I think communication is key. Be a good listener. Listen to the good things, listen to the bad, because there's going to be differences of opinions. But if you're doing a good job listening and communicating, you can work together and figure out a way to resolve the issues.
Yeah, communication is definitely key in this particular area for everybody to be able to navigate and compromise and come to agreements.
Right.
How do you? What roles do you trust? What role does trust play in collaborative partnerships, and how do you work to build that trust?
So trust is key. It takes time to build trust with people, so it's not going to happen instantly. And how do you develop that? I think you have to listen, you have to follow through with what you say you're going to do, because when people see that you do what you say, that is the first step of building trust.
Yeah, always follow through. That's great. So now we're going to go into the collaboration and co-teaching setting. What does an ideal co-teaching collaboration look like to you in terms of like planning, instruction, classroom management, any of those?
Yeah. So when you're co-teaching, you need to decide, who's responsible for what, and you both need to know that. It's very important to plan ahead of time and don't just try to go in and wing it. That never goes well. And be on the same page with classroom management. Kids pick up really fast if they can get away with something with me, but they don't get away with it with you. So kids are very smart that way. So you need to be on the same page and be consistent.
Yeah, consistency is definitely key in that area. Okay, so if you co-teach, how often do you and your co-teachers meet? Would you say to plan and reflect on the materials that are going to be?
I would say once a week for sure. Usually, in most circumstances, teachers plan at least a week at a time. And so there are times when you may have to meet in between during the week, but once a week would be
Give you enough.
the least amount of time I think that you would need to be on the same page.
Okay. How would you handle a situation where you and a co-teacher disagreed and how to support a student or structure a lesson?
If we disagree on how to do a lesson, I think you just have to sit down. You've got to listen to how they want to do it. And you've got to ask yourself, like, okay, will that work? Why do they want to do it that way? Maybe voice what you might see would be better, but you have to come to an agreement. And it might be, okay, you know what, I'm just going to try it their way and see what happens, and maybe it does work out better. And if it doesn't, you can go back to it, readdress it, and then you can try it. But sometimes you just have to agree to disagree and do it one way or the other.
Good job. All right. What strategies would help maintain a sense of equity between co-teachers in terms of roles, responsibilities, and student perception?
I think in the beginning, you have to discuss who's responsible for what. I think it would be important to basically type it out. Maybe share the same lesson plan as a document so that each of you can type in your part so you know what to expect from the other. Share a calendar so that you're always have at hand what's happening. If you forget, we don't all remember everything. So
That is
having the
true.
document to go to is very helpful.
Yeah, always referring back. Well, we have made it through all of our questions today. I am looking forward to getting with my team and discussing what we talked about today, and then I'm going to get back with you in another week or so. Okay?
That sounds great. Thank
you.
you.
All right, you have a great day.
You too.
Thanks.